Let's go to D'Souza. The DOJ is politicized and weaponized and anglicized. D'Souza, this is, you know why this drew my attention. You guys, I don't want to fucking beat this dead horse, but nobody knew how China-like U.S. would become. Oh, we're getting very China-like. You mean like the Republican primary where it's just more of a selection than an election? I kid. Come on. Here we go.
Countless hours to investigate.
Hold on. Here we go. Let's back up.
Dinesh D'Souza has devoted countless hours to investigating the left, and he joins me now.
Yes, he's countless hours investigating the left and also Laura Ingram's vagina.
Good to have you back on. It seems clear that our politicians realize that they can get away with a lot using plausible deniability in this case.
Yeah, especially when it's Trump, because he doesn't fucking know anything. I have the best memory. I know the best words. I never met that person. I don't even know that guy. He was around a lot, but I think he just got me coffee. Also, flurble cafefe.
As long as it's not too obvious, the case is pretty tough to make.
Yeah, I think that,
It's all about plausible deniability.
So, question.
By the way, hack terms like plausible deniability, they have function occasionally, but their overuse points to just an ignorance and kind of a bumper sticker mentality about politics. It's like saying deep state or establishment. Plausible deniability is another one of those fucking things.
How do you distinguish the scale of corruption that you see with Menendez and that you see with Biden?
Well, I would say a closet full of money and gold bars and messages with his wife contacting like people from Egypt and him responding saying, I'm signing off on the Egypt thing today. That would seem like pretty cut and dry. There's your quid, there's your pro, there's your quo. When it comes to Biden, it sounds like a fishing expedition and you guys keep coming up with, and you've even lost your bait.
From you could call it ordinary corruption of a politician who has a big donor. The big donor, let's say, is from a utility company.
Okay, that's not ordinary.
As a business of some sort, gives money, sometimes quite a small amount of money, and then...
Or, in the case of Menendez, a whole shit ton of money.
Wants the politician to return his phone calls, pay attention, hear him out, even if not to give something...
This is his defense of Trump, by the way.
Explicitly in exchange to give him preferential treatment compared to any other citizen.
Now, that's standard donor politics.
Of course, what Menendez did and what the Bidens have done is they have perfected the scheme. They have taken it to a level that's, it's almost like it crosses a certain amount of a line of tolerance. So people go, oh my gosh, this is taking it way too far.
Well, I think Menendez, sure, but you're trying to attach it to Biden as if there's a one-to-one comparison, and there isn't.
Biden's, they've been a little more sly about it.
Because you can't find anything.
The fact that...
Sly means I haven't found anything, and it's not because I'm a complete inept fuck and I'm barking up the wrong tree. It's because these guys are really good.
So far, at least.
They're also, Biden's also, they can't put a sentence together and is inept and, he's brain farting all over the fucking place or whatever, but master criminal.
Haven't seen any money going directly to Joe Biden. It's kind of the last line of defense, isn't it? All the family...
No, it's not. There's two things. There's no direct evidence of the money going to Biden, but there's also no change in policy that you can point to that even if the money was sent was the result of that money being sent. In this case, you're having a real hard problem. You have no quo at all, but you are fucking dry on the quid part as well.
So corrupt. Yes, they were running an influence scheme, but hey, listen, Joe Biden wasn't directly involved.
Yeah.
That's the current defense of Joe Biden.
The one guy earning all the money was the only one that had no idea what was going on and obviously wasn't taking any money. That's the excuse that they give. But
no one made that as the excuse. That's just fucking gibberish.
You made a good point, though. I mean, the whole system...
No, he did not.
If you really want to go down that road, it's all corrupt. I mean,
all of it's corrupt. So why are we bothering Trump? Okay, it's the system that did this. By the way, these are the people who tell you that systemic racism doesn't exist. It's it's not embedded into the thing. And when people encounter individual racism, that's a thing over here. But there's no systemic racism, but there is systemic corruption, and therefore, when Trump is corrupt, it's not he doesn't want to be. It's just that's how shit works. Even when it doesn't, because he's getting busted for it, which he shouldn't get busted for it, because shouldn't everybody be busted for it? Even though we don't have anything that shows everybody else is into the shit he's into?
Street is corruption, right? I mean, having money in politics You've already kind of crossed that line.
I see. All right. The fact that these motherfuckers are going to come out against Citizens United or some shit, you do recognize, asshole, that you're talking to a guy who makes movies specifically to manipulate the electorate using effectively super PAC funds. And if you were like, get money out of politics, it destroys Dinesh's career. You know what? I'm on Rob Shit's side all of a sudden. How did that happen?
I guess it's not surprising that some of these people, the worst actors out there that have been there the longest, like the Bidens and people like Menendez who are 70, 80 years old, after long enough, they just say, you know what, I'm cashing in.
Yeah, and it's amazing that Trump didn't even wait until he was in politics to do this kind of corruption. It's amazing. Some people get a head start. I mean, he always was an early starter. That's the thing about him. You know what I mean? That's what makes him a great businessman.
Well, you have to look at the motives for why people go into government in the first place. Now,
Right. Yeah, like Trump.
no one's claiming that Jimmy Carter or Reagan or George W. Bush got in it to get rich. And in fact, they didn't get rich.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
But I think what we see with
And Trump definitely did, because he made money. He made more money during the 4 years he was president than he did in the 8 years previous.
Clintons and now with the Bidens is people who went into politics with no money at all. And they didn't just
And they still have no money.
go well off. I mean, it'd be one thing if Clinton is former president, he gives some speeches, he makes, $50,000 here, $50,000 there, he lives now in a nice house. But no, we're talking about people going from zero to like $100 million.
Yeah, the Bidens are worth $8 million. $8 million. And not 100, 8.
A government salary. That on the face of it screams corruption.
That certainly does.
Like Rick Scott, you mean? So Rick Scott totally corrupt is what you're saying? I agree.
You've got a new film coming out. It's called Police State. I watched the trailer earlier today. It looks
embarrassing.
fantastic. I want
It looks really stupid.
just a little bit here.
We want the subject to be on display, doing the walk of shame, full visual impact.
Okay, not a real FBI agent, not a real arrest. This is a fake enactment. Notice how the look at the black dude prominently just leading this poor golf shirt wearing dad.
For the first time in my life, I'm saying to myself, am I going to get a knock at the door?
No, you're not. No one gives a fuck, Bongholio. You're not going to get a knock at the door. As a matter of fact, I got news for you. The knocks at your door in general are going to dry up.
Need to have a crime. What we need is a person to look at.
Yeah, that's Comer and Jim Jordan, and that's what the Republicans on the committee are doing. That's what Trump tried to do with Zelensky and the Biden investigation. That's what he wanted, was Comey Part 2.
Go find out what crime you did.
So obviously we're talking about the left weaponizing the Justice Department against
Or the right.
citizens. Tell us about Police State.
Yeah, tell us about it. We basically live in a police state. I mean, you can't go outside. You can't really go outside. It's basically martial law at this point.
Well, Police State looks at the broader picture. It isn't just the FBI.
Yeah, it's just in general. Like, go outside. I mean, don't, because you'll get shot.
If you think of what an unfree society like North Korea or China
Unfree. Sure.
or the old
You mean an oppressive society or an authoritarian society? Unfree. Just say unfree.
Soviet Union, what are the defining features of such a society? Now,
Uniforms. Definitely uniforms. Probably made out of burlap. And everybody eats dry rice. No water at all. And lots of little mustaches. I think that happens.
one, you've got mass surveillance of citizens.
Right. Mass surveillance of citizens, And it's worse in the United States because these assholes film themselves. Look at this guy. They're both sitting in front of cameras right now, staring right into them. Oh my God, so am I.
Number two, you've got the weaponization of the government against political opponents.
Or one party committing more crimes than the other and then using it as an excuse. I mean, how do you make that distinction without acting like a complete dickhead?
A one-party state, the effort to establish a one-party state.
By the way, all parties are seeking to have complete control over the government. Republicans are seeking to take the House, the Senate, and the White House. Democrats are seeking that too because you believe you have the best ideas and you want to run the country. Of course, you want to win more seats and have more influence. Republicans have a head start in that area. If they didn't, by the way, they would give up one senator in each of the states that doesn't have a population over 1 million.
Number 4, the presence of political prisoners.
What? Oh, you mean Jan 6ers? You mean the people who, like, flew a Confederate flag and took a dump and stole shit in the Capitol?
A widespread regime of censorship, often stretching throughout the whole society.
Yes, says man talking into his laptop on television with a host who's agreeing with him and nodding the whole time. Do you know what you know what kind of a special level of asshole you have to be to claim censorship while you're on live fucking television? Saying whatever the fuck you want?
People informing on their own family members or people down the street.
As opposed to, so snitching is now a sign of an authoritarian government. So they're just supposed to, if it's a relative and they've killed somebody, let it slide? Because that's America, to Dinesh.
All of these things that once said, we would look at other countries and go, look, those are the bad guys because these are the things that they do.
Okay, turning in a relative who's committed a crime is not new to the fucking United States because of some weird progressive woke takeover. For fuck's sake, I thought progressives were trying to get everybody out of jail. How do you create gulags and abolish prisons at the same time? How do you have a police state while defunding the police? Get your fucking message straight. This is goofy.
All of those things have now suddenly crept almost imperceptibly into American life.
It's almost like they're only in your fucking head. It's weird. You can walk around, you don't even notice it because it isn't happening, but it is happening. It's just not happening anywhere near you or to anyone you actually know. It's just only through weird internet channels like this.
And so the film raises a very profound question. Is America becoming a police state?
No. Spoiler alert.
If I think back a couple of decades, we were asking questions like, wow, if we do trade with China, will they become more like us? It never occurred to us to say, would we become more like them?
Dun, 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 dun. Hold on one second. Dun, dun, dun. Will they become more like us? Who can say? Will we become more like them? No, we haven't become more like them. They literally became more like, they got Starbucks and we got cheap electronics and shitty toys for a while. Oy. This is just embarrassing.
That's the question raised by this film, Police State. It's in theaters next month, October 23rd and 25th.
Why would you see that? By the way, if we're in a police state, how the fuck would you get a movie like that in theaters? Come see, the government is shutting down my movie because you're not even allowed to show movies anymore. Premiering Friday. The first 90 people get free popcorn. Is the government trying to stop you from eating popcorn? Answer our poll and get a free popcorn at the screening. Jesus Christ.
Available later for streaming and stuff.
Well, and stuff. Yeah. I mean, unless it's obviously censored. Excellent. Unless they censor it, of course, which they're going to definitely do. Definitely going to do. I mean, obviously, until, of course, the draconian Agenda 21 UN shock troops show up and maybe take it down off of Amazon Prime or my own website or that I'm, obviously hosting on a server in Russia. But don't let that affect your view of the film.
But we've bought out hundreds of theaters.
So you're not counting on ticket sales, I guess.
Our website is just policestatefilm.net.
Mm-hmm. Someone already took policestatefilm.com. It's a Gerard Butler film. I'm guessing it was taken by a Gerard Butler film, right?
Film, so that's the place to get the
Police
tickets.
Yeah, get the tickets there. They're basically free. We already bought out the theater. We're doing the same thing Sound of Freedom did, which is buy out all the seats and pretend they were bought by people. So even if it's empty, it's the #1 box office movie.
Dinesh D'Souza, great filmmaker, sir. Thank you so much.
Great filmmaker, so great. Especially the part where you you put scenes together that will drive some lone wolf to shoot an FBI agent in the fucking face, just for the random of it. Yeah, because obviously Trump.
Taking the time, we appreciate it.
My pleasure.
Oh, my pleasure to drive lone wolves to attempt to murder police officers. It's really, I mean, it's more than a job. It's a calling, really.